Destitute. The Roman homeless. You wake before dawn because the streets come alive with carts, animals, and servants rushing to market. You slept in a doorway, under a portico, or in the shadow of an insula where you won't be kicked away until sunrise. Your body is stiff from cold stone. You check your satchel, a clay cup, maybe a blanket, a crust of bread saved from yesterday. If you have sandals, the straps are worn thin. Water is your first task. You head toward a public fountain and hope it hasn't run dry. You wash your face quickly, watching for lictors or shopkeepers who send vagrants away. Food is next. Maybe a temple charity hands out grain porridge. Maybe a baker gives you yesterday's scraps if he's kind. Otherwise, you beg near the forum, the baths, the temples. You look for crowds, tourists, or merchants. Some toss a coin, some pretend not to see you, some call the vigils. You plan your day around shade in the heat and shelter in the rain. Public baths are too expensive, so you rinse in fountains and wipe down with water from a jar. Clothing is patched until it practically dissolves. Work is whatever comes, unloading cargo for a single coin, mucking stables, sweeping a shop stall for leftovers. Paperwork doesn't exist, but lack of status does. Without a patron, without family, you have no protection. Injury means disaster. Illness is a gamble. By evening, you look for a safe place, a temple step, a quiet alley, the steps of a warehouse. You tuck your few valuables into your clothes and sleep lightly. Morning will come early, and you will begin again with water, bread, and the hope of a single coin. Deep poverty. The urban poor in the insulae. You wake in a cramped upper floor room of an insula, a tenement stacked high above Rome. The walls are thin, the stairs creak. You rent by the week, and the landlord doesn't fix much. Your straw mattress is uneven. Smoke from neighbors' cook fires seeps through the cracks. Some nights, the wind whistles straight through the shutters. You check your purse, a few copper coins. Enough for bread, olives, maybe lentils if you cook at home. You ration everything. Your water comes from a public fountain. Your job is whatever pays. Porter, laborer, cleaner, dock worker. Work changes day to day. If you're called, you go. If not, you search the forum or the markets for someone shouting orders. Your day revolves around cost. Bread is cheapest at dawn. Wine is bought watered down. Meat is rare. If you have children, they eat first. Laundry is done by hand with cold water. You repair your tunic with old thread. You save broken pottery because it might still hold something. Healthcare is a neighbor who knows herbs or a street physician you can barely afford. You put off anything painful unless it's unbearable. A lost day of work means a lost day of wages. At night, you stretch a few coins into tomorrow. You blow out the oil lamp quickly because fuel is expensive. You set out early clothes, check the weather through the window slit, and hope the building doesn't catch fire in the night. The upper floors always burn first. Working poor, laborers, porters, basic tradesmen. You wake before sunrise to the sound of carts rumbling over stone. You rent a modest room or share space with family. A jug of water sits in the corner. You wash your face and grab yesterday's bread for breakfast. Your sandals are worn but serviceable. You check your coin pouch, a few denarii from the week's work. You stretch them carefully. You pack a small lunch, bread, figs, maybe cheese if the market was cheap. You head to your job. The docks, a workshop, a vineyard, a bakery. You work long hours standing, lifting, moving. Overseers watch closely. Breaks are short. You say yes to extra tasks because you need the pay. Your tools are simple, a hammer, a chisel, a basket, but they must last. You budget for oil for your lamp, rent for your room, and a little wine to unwind after work. Illness is expensive, so you avoid doctors. You push through aches and strains. After work, you stop at the market and choose carefully. Lentils instead of meat, old fruit instead of fresh. At night, you eat a simple stew, wash your tunic, and prepare for tomorrow. You dream of a more stable trade, maybe joining a guild someday. Compared to modern society, these guys would be the ones driving old Hondas, just scraping by, maybe a few bad paychecks, away from being on the streets. Translated financially, they could expect to make around $10,000 a year. Lower middle class, skilled craftsmen, shopkeepers, minor clerks. You wake in a modest but stable home, a rented apartment on a lower insula floor, or a small workshop with living quarters attached. The place is tidy. You keep a wax tablet with notes on customers. orders and expenses. You brew simple barley coffee or drink watered wine with bread and fruit. Your work is steady: pottery, metalwork, carpentry, scribing, tailoring. You know your customers. You know your schedule. Income arrives regularly enough to plan ahead. You budget carefully: rent, grain, oil, taxes. You save a little in a small chest or with a money changer. You avoid debt unless necessary. You maintain your tools meticulously. A dull blade or broken wheel costs money. You take pride in your craft. You work most of the day, meeting clients, bargaining prices, writing receipts. You teach an apprentice or hope to take one soon. You attend local guild meetings for support and reputation. After work, you visit the baths, the cheap section, and relax. You shop for vegetables, maybe fish. You cook at home or buy street food if you're tired. Entertainment is simple: a storyteller, a dice game, or a public gathering. In the evening, you review your accounts, mark orders on your tablet, and plan tomorrow's work. You feel organized, cautious, but stable. In 2025, this class of society would work your regular 9 to 5, enjoying a life of fleeting comfort, but often unable to justify true luxuries. Middle class: prosperous merchants, senior clerks, and successful craftsmen. You've paid off your very own home or spacious apartment on a lower level of the insula. The furniture is sturdy and was bought new. You own good quality clothing and keep valuables in a locked chest. You check your accounts, payments from trade routes, shop sales, government clerical wages. Your income is steady and predictable. You keep emergency savings and invest in modest ventures. You pay taxes with little stress. Breakfast includes bread, fruit, cheese, eggs. You can afford variety. You ride to work on a mule or walk through clean streets. Your job involves paperwork, planning, or managing others. You have control over your day. You hire help when needed: a cleaner, a cook for large gatherings, a laborer to lift heavy goods. You schedule doctor visits instead of waiting for pain. You buy quality sandals instead of worn hand-me-downs. During lunch, you skim your accounts. A large expense posted: new tools, imported goods, but you planned for it. You set aside money for festivals and travel. You maintain insurance-like arrangements through guilds and patronage networks. After work, you visit better baths, dine at home with meat a few times a week, or attend the theater. You handle repairs by hiring craftsmen instead of improvising. Evenings are calm. You teach your children reading or review trade plans. You feel secure with room for ambition. This class of Roman society would make up the majority of the modern world's demographic. Not rich, but able to own a new Chevy or used Mercedes, and maybe take a modest vacation or two per year. Upper middle class: wealthy merchants, landowners, equestrian status. You wake in a spacious domus or villa on the edge of the city. Fresh air flows through open courtyards. The household slaves begin their chores quietly. Your morning routine is smooth. The cook prepares breakfast. A steward updates you on household matters. Bills are predictable: taxes, slave upkeep, land maintenance. Money arrives from farms, trade fleets, mines, or large workshops you own. Wealth grows steadily. You invest in new ventures, lend money at interest, and buy additional land. Your transportation is a well-kept carriage or horse. Your clothes are fine and well-dyed. You hold equestrian rank or belong to the city elite. Your work consists of overseeing investments, managing estates, or holding respected administrative roles. You control your schedule. Healthcare is excellent: personal physicians, quality medicines, quick treatment. You visit the baths often, attend banquets, and socialize with powerful families. You buy time. Slaves handle cleaning, cooking, childcare, errands. At lunch, you review accounts with a steward. A large expense posted: repairs on a villa roof, new slaves, a shipment delayed, but your reserves absorb it. You plan a trip to Baiae or Ostia and book accommodations through patron networks. Dinner is fresh, varied, and prepared by skilled cooks. Your children receive elite tutors. You donate to temples or sponsor public games to build reputation. General Julius Agricola is a perfect example of a man who rose through military command plus political office. He commanded multiple legions and acquired vast landholdings and rewards from the state. You feel secure, influential, and upwardly mobile. Wealthy Romans usually parked their money in landed estates, and typical returns were about 5 to 6% per year. Richer equestrians with more land or trade could be pulling 30,000 sesterces a year, which was their form of currency. Adjusted to current rates, that would be roughly $210,000 annually. Not bad. Comfortably rich. High-ranking equestrians, regional officials, multi-villa owners. You wake in a large villa with mosaic floors, heated baths, and servants who manage everything from lighting oil lamps to tending gardens. Your estate runs on routines. Your steward handles accounts. Slaves maintain every corner. Your net worth is in the millions of sesterces, spread across land holdings, shipping ventures, mines, and rental properties. You hold strong political connections, perhaps even serve as a provincial governor. Taxes, legal matters, and investments are handled by trusted advisors. Your carriage is elegant, your wardrobe is fine wool and expensive dyes. You replace items whenever you wish, the best physicians treat you. You host lavish dinners and attend exclusive events. Income continues even when you travel. You visit estates across Italy or the provinces. You stay in villas that staff prepare for your arrival. You can say no to obligations you dislike. Your reputation and wealth protect you. During the day, you approve repairs without comparing prices. You fund temples, civic buildings, or games to increase prestige. At night, you review investment reports, sign documents, and plan future expansions. You feel set for life and for generations. People like Trimalchio, a fictional character from Petronius' Satyricon, but based entirely on real freed slaves who became insanely wealthy. He would be a good example for this class. Historical freedmen like him ran import-export businesses, operated imperial finances, employed dozens of slaves themselves. Ultra-elite, senatorial class, families worth 100 million sesterces. You've had your slaves construct a palatial domus or a sprawling estate. The air is quiet. Servants adjust the curtains. A steward brings a morning report. Political matters, estate revenues, military updates, and decisions requiring your attention. This group would contain notable figures like Lucius Cornelius Sulla, part of the senatorial elite with massive estates. Sulla rose from moderate wealth to astronomical power after his victory in the Civil War. Your wealth is enormous. Land across provinces, massive slave-run operations, mining interests, trade fleets, and political influence. A team of managers, effectively an ancient family office, oversees everything. You approve decisions, fund large projects, and influence politics. You travel with security. Your carriage is escorted. You host governors, generals, philosophers. Your donations shape cities, aqueducts, theaters, temples. You measure impact, not cost. You spend the day meeting senators, negotiating alliances, and reviewing estate operations. If you travel, ships and estates prepare for you. If you stay home, dignitaries come to you. Your name carries weight across the empire. At night, you receive a final report on your domains, crops, taxes, shipments, politics, threats. You confirm tomorrow's plans. You sleep knowing you are one of the most powerful private citizens in the Roman world. If a time machine was offered to NBA players, CEOs, or mainstream musical artists, they would join this group. People light years ahead of the rest of the population financially, but still not number one. Billionaire equivalent, imperial family, top 3 to 5 men in the empire. This is where guys like Julius Caesar fit in. You wake in one of several palaces: Rome, Capri, Antioch, each staffed by hundreds. Guards stand outside every entrance. A chief of staff brings a brief. Senate matters, frontier reports, tribute shipments, construction updates, rumors, plots. Your wealth is beyond calculation. You control imperial estates, mines, ports, and taxes. Your family office includes the imperial treasury, legal advisors, military liaisons, and personal physicians. You influence armies, economies, and entire provinces with a word. Meetings fill your morning. Generals, governors, ambassadors. You make decisions that shift borders and markets. You ask short, precise questions. You decide which problems matter. Travel is imperial. If you sail, a fleet accompanies you. If you ride, legions clear the road. If you stay, delegations arrive from across the world. You fund cities, armies, temples, roads, and wars. You receive updates on rebellions, famines, conspiracies. You shape history with a gesture. The modern equivalent of these figures would be people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or nobles like Arab princes. The true 1%ers. At night, you receive a final summary. Grain supplies stable, eastern border calm. Political rivals managed, tomorrow's schedule set. You sleep knowing the empire bends around your choices. Your time protected, your power unmatched. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe as it helps out a ton, and I would greatly appreciate it. I upload multiple times a week, so stay tuned for more and remember, never stop learning.